the pages of my old journals. With every turn, another memory.
Hello and welcome to Journaling Through the Years. This is a new series on my channel where I will read several entries from my journals. I have written in a journal since I was old enough to write, almost, and I will read and discuss. I am on the journey towards recovery from PTSD and such, and so I thought maybe this would help me understand myself in that journey, and maybe, just maybe, it'll help other people as well. So before we get started, I just want to ask that if you like this video, go ahead and hit like and share it out where you can. Comment below if you have anything to say, and hit subscribe on my channel, and you can check out all the links in the about section as well for us. So thank you. Let's get started. So this is when I was in 6th grade. It starts out when I was in 6th grade, and it starts out very formally. To whom it may concern, my name is, at the time I was Julia Anderson. So my name is Julia Anderson. I am 12 years old and in 6th grade. People that like me are HL, SD, CT, JL, SH, SM, and CH, ZV, and AS. And it's interesting because I didn't actually say all their names. I give the initials. In this I wrote their names. I also wrote their full names, and then I wrote their birthdays next to it. Very specific right there. And then I had somebody written on there, and I'd crossed their name out. So I guess I didn't think they liked me. I thought that was really interesting that I had to, at 12 years old, write down the people who liked me. That was interesting to me. I, even to this day, have struggles believing that I am lovable or that people actually like me. Getting better at. So I think that's interesting that it was starting back then, or even before. I go on. Boys are not really on my mind right now. I used to like B.O. That's his initials. He did not have B.O. that I know of. Maybe he did sometimes, and still does. I'm sure he's still alive. B.O. and D.S. Not anymore. I will love whoever I marry, whom this book is to. Now, I was not a Christian at the time, so I don't know why I was so specific about who I will marry, that I will love that person and only that person. I think that's a kind of a byproduct of like Hollywood and the kind of romantic fairy tale of all that. So also, I have 3 cats and 2 dogs. My dogs' names are Frances, and she was 8 at the time, and Oliver, or Ollie, 2, had in parentheses Ollie, comma 2. My cat names are Puying, 5, Escher, 2, and Jamocha, 1. My best friend in the whole world is JL. It used to be AD, but now she's just a friend. Sincerely. And I wrote my whole name in my journal. So I just think that's interesting also to note that, you know, life changes as you go into middle school, and I didn't understand at the time why. So nowadays I consider, I have many best friends. And so I don't think that just because life changes, you stop being my best friend. You're always going to be my best friend if I have a closeness. So I just think that that's interesting at age 12 that I was thinking, well, life changes, she's no longer my best friend. Very like black and white thinking. So this next one, Dear Will. Who's Will? How are you? I am fine. I decided to write to you because I want to marry you. Wow, already. This was written on March 16th, and the last one was written, it doesn't say. The reason I like JL is she's nice. Well, that's good. That's a good start. We get along, and she doesn't like me for my sister. She likes me for me. My sister is 17 years old. CT likes her, and whenever she's around, C ignores me and falls head over heels for J, my sister. I wish she would stop. I I don't know how to tell her to stop. Do you think I should yell at her and tell her how to stop? But then I'd lose her as a friend, and she can be pretty neat sometimes. Should I just ignore it? But then it gets me really mad. I know maybe when she comes over, I should invite another friend like B, J, or S. I'm going to invite them so that if C starts ignore me, I won't be ignored because I'll have somebody else. That's nice. I feel a lot better. Well, goodbye. And I once again signed my whole name in my journal. So I think that's interesting that I was struggling with this jealousy and feelings of competition with my sister, and worry that I wasn't liked, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I all my life have felt this issue around just feeling unloved and feeling like I was going to be abandoned. And I think that was the core root of a lot of my episodes of anger outbursts or emotional breakdowns, is that I just was afraid that I was going to be left. And yes, I am sweating profusely because I am in the PNW, and it is says on my computer that it is 113 Fahrenheit, and I am in an air-conditioned room, but I just gone outside, so just doing that and coming back made me sweat like this. So a couple more. This is on March 17th. Dear Will, happy St. Patrick's Day. Today I'm going to walk around the vineyards with my order forms. And then I go on just to write about how we're trying to sell stuff, and I'm going to go around and we're going to raise money for PE equipment or something like that. And I want to get 35 signatures so I can get a telephone. And this is really cool because it was a telephone, not a cell phone. It was before that time. It was a cell phone, and it was see-through, and you could see all the gadgets, and it was like all different colors and everything like that. So I thought it was cool. Then I write about how my reading class, we're going to put on a play, and I was going to be the narrator, and it was going to have to be in front of the whole school, and I was really nervous about it. I read about another book I was reading at the time, and that's pretty much it. So now we're going to find out who is Will. And this was, I had a long break, so May 2nd. Dear Will, or Danny Ponce. Who's Danny Ponce? Well, he was on a TV show that was originally called Valerie's Family, and then it became the Hogan Family. And he played Will Hogan. He was one of the twins that was one of the sons. And I just thought he was really cute. Jason Bateman was also on that show, but I like Danny Ponce. Hey, baby. How are you? I am fine. I'm sorry I've neglected you for so long. I really am. How dramatic is that? And also, hey, baby. Like, is that what I was learning? Like, hey, I need to, say the person I like, I call him baby. I don't even do that now, and I don't even like it when people call me baby or honey or anything like that. I finally turned 13. And I go on to talk about who came to my birthday and what I got and all of that. And then I go on to talk about how there was a teacher, one of my teachers in 6th grade, who I had written a notebook. I think my friends and I had drawn a picture, and we'd written Mr. L stinks, and I got in trouble for it. And I had to just erase it. Yeah. And then, of course, I wrote, P.S. I love you forever, Dan Ponce plus Julia Ponce. That's who I was then. And I was very convinced I was going to marry him. A few more, I think. Yes. So this one is May 3rd at 10:43 p.m. Dearest Danny, how are you? Can you guess what happened today? I got a referral. No reason at all. See, it all started in nature studies. H was wearing a pink bra that showed through her shirt, and she wanted to know if she could wear this sweater I was wearing. So I gave it to her to wear. Well, she got sent out of the room, and I was worried about my sweater. So I walked to the door and asked H to give it back to me at PE. PE was talking to her too, and Mr. K And I had written, actually it's Mr. Klug, but I wrote it with a C, but it's actually Klug. Mr. K, Mr. Klug saw us and sent us out too. B, H, and I were talking a little bit, but not much. We were giggling too. Miss R, I do not know who this teacher is, a teacher that heard us went in and told Mr. Klug that we were being noisy. He told her he was writing us up now. And I was a goody-goody. So I never got any referrals or anything, and barely got into detention. I think I would get in detention because in high school I was often late to school, so I got detention. And then I wrote P.S. Middle school sucks, because it did, and because I was often teased in middle school. I wasn't very smooth with socializing, and I had big glasses and like braces, and it was like kind of awkward, and I got teased a lot, and I didn't hang out with all the popular kids. So everything switches over in elementary school, especially in the small school. You're all close, and then you get to middle school, and you divide. So eventually it all comes back together, but usually like 20 years after you graduate high school. Just kidding. But a lot of my issues that I've worked through finally started in middle school. So now we have my dear Dan. Hey, how are you? This is on May 5th. I've decided for C to be an ex-friend. She has pushed and pushed, and now I will draw the line. Will is crossed like 3 times. Today was the May Day in Geyserville. C was hanging out with H and K, and she was being a little snob. Not to mention a bitch. She treated me like dirt. I'm going to treat her like shit tomorrow at school. Dan, why is Z so pushy? For instance, one day at lunch, she was walking around the lunchroom looking for K. When she couldn't find her, she came over to where I was sitting. I was sitting with E, J, and S. It was Thursday, and I had bought a pizza, because that was pizza day. It was the best day. And had stood next to the guy J thinks is cute. So we were talking about that. C came over and said, move over. She didn't even ask to sit next to me, just butted in. Then when Jay and I were talking about M, C went, who? And Jay and I went, nothing. I like Jay. She is my type. She's funny. I also like keeping secrets with Jay and not telling them to C. Haha, how I hate C. Sincerely, C's ex-friend. And then I wrote, P.S. I love you forever. There was a lot of issues in middle school with this particular friend, C. I don't even remember it now because she's still my friend now. She is an only child, I think, and was always wanted to be in the popular group, but never quite succeeded. And we've definitely worked through those issues, and we grew up basically right down the street from each other. She's like a sister to me, and I think there was a lot of jealousy and competition, because we're about the same age, and because she looked at my whole family as some kind of an extension of her family, and I think it really triggered a lot of my insecurities with love and not feeling worthy and just all that kind of stuff. So often a lot of fights with her, discomforts. So I think one more. This is on May 9th. Dear Dan. No more dearest or dear. The relationship might be souring. How are you? I'm wonderful. School is fine. I learned something today. That S thinks of C the same as me. The same as everybody else in this world. In this world, that's very dramatic. Except for her. Parents probably. Parents probably don't think that. And then it was interesting because in the spaces where I hadn't written anything, I started writing all the names of the people from the Hogan family, like in all caps. I wrote Jason Bateman, Daddy Ponce, Jeremy Light, just in different areas. Dan, I want to write to Sandy now. Okay? I had to tell him, look away. And so I'm writing to Sandy Duncan. Dear Sandy, I would like to talk to you about love. It's interesting, I'm writing to this fictitious maternal character on a TV show. I would like to talk to you about love. You see, I think this guy named DS is really cute. So he was written about earlier that I didn't like him, so it looks like I'm liking him again. He has blonde hair, striking good looks, and he's real and not made up. Like someone in this class, makeup people. I don't know who that was. I want to go out with him. Another thing is he only comes up to my area in the summertime. How can I get him to notice me? Should I dress up all frilly and stuff? Or should I just try everything I can and see if he likes that in a girl? I think that's what I'll do. Thanks, Sandy Duncan. I love Danny. And then the last thing I'll show today is I had written... It is, can you see it? It's the Hall of Hogan and the Hall of Night Court. Right there. All the names in order. And then of course Danny Ponce has hearts by his name because I loved him. And then of course we have the Hall of Night Court. We'll go into the Hall of Night Court later. That's where we're gonna stop today. And yeah, I grew up in a community that was it was a very rural country club, very rural at the time, and there were people, there was a lake, and there was people that were weekenders or summer only that had a second home, and DS was one of those people. So, if you like this series, I will do more each week, and like I said, don't forget to hit subscribe, like and share this out, leave a comment, and check out all our other links in the About section. Thank you. Bye.